It's 3 a.m. Alerts are firing, and you have been responding for 6 hours straight. Switching context, remembering how to dig for information, keeping a dozen systems in your head simultaneously. Your mind is mush. You can't think clearly anymore. You can't even remember the 15 things that were still waiting for your attention before the fire hose started. Tomorrow you were supposed to learn a new language, work through the problem you've been thinking about, maybe spend some time being a whole person instead of just being an on-call responder. It doesn't happen. Your brain is too fried. You blame yourself. Maybe you're just not cut out for this. Maybe you need better focus, better discipline, better willpower. But I'm here. But here's what I'm going to tell you. It's not you. It's the system. Modern infrastructure is built to maximize information output. More dashboards, more metrics, more alerts, more context. The assumption is that if you have enough data, you'll make better decisions. But there's a constraint nobody is designing for: your actual human capacity to process information. At a certain point, more data doesn't help. It paralyzes. Your attention becomes a bottleneck. Not compute, not storage, not network, you. And the systems we've built don't account for that. They're designed backwards. You have to go dig. You have to remember where to look. You have to pull information from the system and hold it in your head. The system waits passively for your next question, and when you're drowning in alerts, you're not thinking, you're surviving. A few years ago, I was building a GTD system for myself, trying to manage the overwhelming amount of information I needed to juggle just to do my job well. And I realized something. The system always waited for me to push, to ask, to query. What if that was backwards? What if the system knew what I needed to know in a given situation and told me? Not, here's all the data about the system, go figure it all out, but you just entered this context. Here's what matters now. When you're researching a problem in a specific directory and the system tells you important things about that folder, when an alert fires and the system gives you the context that you need to respond, not everything it knows, just what's relevant. That's you moving from this diagram of you querying the system for data to this model where the system provides you information about the system in a given context. Yeah. The system pushes context as you act, you receive it, you think, and you act. This thinking led to Bot Army. Here's what's changed. Push-based context instead of pull-based drowning. Bots observe the system and push relevant information when it matters. No endless dashboards, no scrolling through metrics. The system knows you're in a specific situation and surfaces what you need. Specialized bots instead of one megabot. Instead of the idea of one big bot that can handle everything, which was a nightmare, instead I built many focus bots. One for GTD, one for SRE, one for learning, one for fitness, one for YouTube, and each bot handles its domain well. Each one knows its constraints. Each one can be updated or replaced without breaking the whole system. Restricted context windows instead of infinite noise. One of the hardest problems with large language models is context window overload. Give a bot too much context, it gets confused, and it can't find the signal in the noise. So instead, the bot army bots have focused context windows. They know their domain deeply, and but only their domain. This keeps them reliable. It keeps them fast. It keeps them focused on what actually matters. Deterministic schemas instead of hoping the AI gets it right. AI is inconsistent. Sometimes it follows patterns, sometimes it doesn't. When you need reliability, you can't just hope the large language model cooperates. So Bot Army uses standardized JSON schemas, explicit error handling. If a bot can't figure something out, it says so. The system knows about failures. It can recover. And you're not trusting a black box AI behavior. You're building reliable systems that use AI as a component. Theming as a presentation layer. I wanted to see what bots were doing and more visibility into their work. But I didn't want to add more logging, more metrics, more monitoring, because that's just more noise. So I built the theming system, a visual presentation layer that sits on top of the raw data. You can turn themes on or off, change them. The raw data is always there, but what you see is consumable, even enjoyable. If you're drowning in alerts, if you're burnt out, if you blame yourself for not keeping up, stop. It's not willpower. It's not discipline. It's not that you're not cut out for this. The systems are broken, and they can be designed differently. Over this series, I'm going to show you how. The principles behind finite attention, how to build systems that respect human capacity, how to push context instead of forcing pull, and I'm going to show you Bot Army as a working example of this thinking. You don't need to use Bot Army, but you might want to think like it. Want to think deeper about this? Read about finite attention on my Substack, link in the description. Want to see how I built this? Check out the devlogs, also in the description. And if you want to follow along as I build more, subscribe to the channel.